or the question of this particular intelligence which is in the mission playing an important role in education. So today we'll be discussing about all these aspects, and we'll be checking and we'll be seeing how this can impact education. Post. Okay, so these are the which we are going to discuss today. So as I was mentioning to you earlier, so AI is a computer program. It's a program which has been developed by human, which can perform a task typically only possible with human intelligence. So it is not a normal program. So you can see a lot of applications, lot of programs used in various organization, companies. So these are rule based, or it will do what it has been instructed. So there is a difference between that program and this program. So here we are adding that intelligence to that. So again, Merriam-Webster dictionary says AI is the capability of machine to imitate human behavior. So now, how artificial intelligence works. So there is two stages in this. The first stage is the AI-based system will get the knowledge, the initial knowledge from the data and the programs which are being given to that particular system by the human programmer. So that's the first part. So initially, when you're developing a program, AI-based program, you feed some data to the program, and that particular program starts functioning. Then secondly, there is a learning process. The program learns. So that is what makes this more interesting. So we'll be seeing these aspects in detail today. So now, if I ask you what is the difference between a AI-based system and a human, so these are the differences. So if you see an AI program, like I just explained to you, it's a software program. It is a program done by a human programmer. Whereas when you talk about a human, he has that particular knowledge. So there it's a program, whereas in human we have the knowledge. And again, when you talk about AI-based systems, so where the processing is occurring. So in a AI-based system, the processing is occurring in the computer CPU, whereas for a human it is the head. And again, we talk about the memory in computers and all devices we have RAM, whereas in a human we have brain. And again, the energy, the AI-based system is based on the electricity, whereas for human it is the food. So now let me again compare an AI-based system with a human, and we'll see the areas where AI-based system can do better. So imagine there is a complex mathematical calculation to be done. So in that case, AI-based system can do it very well accurately, whereas human can do it, but again it may take time, and there is again a possibility of error. Again, considering evaluating or grading multiple choice questions. So you have thousands of students, multiple choice questions to be evaluated. So if you give this to a AI-based system, it can do it. Whereas human also can do, but the time taken will be more, or there is again a possibility of error. Now again, evaluating an essay or a descriptive question regarding any aspect, science or English or any subject which has been written in a descriptive manner. So here, the AI-based program will have difficulty in evaluating it, whereas comparatively human will do better. Again, when we talk about creativity, when we talk about imagination, when we talk about critical thinking, so all these aspects, when we say it is again, some aspects are there, but still it is not matching to the human capacity that is unique for human. So this is some of the differences between AI system and a human being. So now this AI based system was not been in the news, or it has not been researched now. It has been researched around 60, 50, 70 years ago. So in 1950s, a scientist Alan Turing, so he proposed a testing called Turing test. So this test is basically very simple, but still he said that if this test is passed by a computer, we can say that the computer is intelligent. So it's nothing but like there are two rooms, and in one room you have a computer-based system, an AI-based system, and in another room you have a human, and there is an evaluator who is in another room, and he is interacting with these two persons. So if the evaluator is A, and you assume the human, actually the evaluator doesn't know which is human, so he'll be just interacting with these two people, so B and C. At the end of the day, he has to tell, or he must be in a position where he's not able to differentiate which is computer and which is human. So if that is possible, then it is said that the Turing test is passed. But for a long time, this was not passed by any AI-based system. And again today, like in a couple of years back in BBC also there was a news about a system, an AI-based system passing it. But again, it is not a generalized system. It is again which has been focused on a particular area. So now, when we consider the human nature, the human characteristics, the human attributes, that is unique, and mostly it is difficult for AI-based system to completely mimic. So to some extent, in a particular area, it is surely possible to mimic human characteristics, but generally it is difficult. So now let's see about human learning. So now we talked about what artificial intelligence is. We talked about the difference between an AI-based system and a human being. And now we'll talk about human learning. So in human learning, when you talk about human learning, one story comes to my mind. So there was a traveler who was traveling across a village, and when he was moving near a valley, and when he was seeing the village down in the valley, he said, and he asked a villager who was standing nearby, "Is there any great famous people born in this village?" He just asked a question: "Is there any famous or great person born in this village?" The villager said, "No, here only babies are born." He said, "Here only babies." Teacher teach them just by talking. So this is their learning style. It's a natural style that particular student has. Sounds, music, again say reading, writing. Again, there is again another set of students who will learn better by just reading and writing. So if somebody is talking, they will write and they will take notes, and that is a style, their style of learning. Or they will read from the book and learn by themselves, or sometimes they may have some doubt, but mostly they prefer to read and learn, and write also. In case somebody is talking, they can take notes and write. Then we have the fourth type of learners who are kinesthetic. So this kinesthetic people are the people who love to do. They want to have a practical experience. They want hands-on experience. So they want to learn by going to the lab. They hate reading and all these boring theoretical things and all. They don't like. They just want to directly do the learning through doing. So, an a simple example is, for example, you bought a particular new device, or you got a new toy for your child. So this can be for a child or for any type of learners. Okay. So if the person is a reading style or writing style learner, he will just read the manual first thoroughly and then use the product. Whereas if the person is a kinesthetic learner, they will directly start using it. Do it by doing, they learn. So directly you on the device play with it and do that, and all trial and error method of doing. So we need to know that there are different learning styles, and again, this learning model, WARC is one of the popular model which is being widely accepted as a model which can be used to find the learning styles of students. So now we need to connect this to the personalized learning. That's what I'm coming to. So each learner has their own learning style. So now, after knowing the learning style, so to know the learning style, there are various ways by which you can find the learning style. So this also can be automated in an AI-based system. The learning style of a child can be found. The system can detect by various set of questionnaires, and then the learning can be personalized. Now again, when we assessment, so if you see this a particular picture, you see a list of students or participants, and you have the teacher saying that for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb the tree. So now here, if you see all the participants here, they are having the of learning with the added materials. So, for example, if there is a course or a subject which has different chapters, and there is the first chapter which talks about the introduction to that particular subject, and then you can have a assessment. So now here we are talking about an AI-based system where the AI-based system will evaluate the students' performance in that particular chapter. So that can be done in either any time, like the student can do that as a homework or an assignment, and that will be fed into the system, and the system will decide what to do next, again based on the teacher's feedback, whether to open the next chapter for the student or to give him some more additional material to explain certain aspects. So that is again we are talking about automating all this process. So again, AI-driven assessment can have meaningful learning activities through games, and two sets of one parent from his father, another parent from his mother, and he cut that. More videos in case he's a visual learner, and then the student may have again another assessment, and again he may be going through this path. Now, and this path again, see, if you see, there are more circles, so there are more things to be done, because the assessment says that the student has to learn one question, one important question, it goes on like that. So this is just for representation. I have put 3 paths. In a personalized learning, you can have n number of paths. And now to it is not possible by a teacher, by a human. So we can ask the help of AI. So AI-based system can help here in providing personalized learning, so that the student who is at level A when they come to level B, so all the students are in somewhat in the same level when they are progressing to the next chapter or the next part of the lesson. So this is what is an UK-based company which does research. So they did a research and they categorized this AI-based automation. So AI and automation. So when AI-based systems are in work, automation takes place. So they studied the impact of AI-based system and what will happen in early 20s, late 20s, and in mid 30s. And they gave the name as algorithmic augmentation and autonomy. So based on that, they predicted the manufacturing sector. The manufacturing sector by 2030 will have a 45% job loss. So they'll be saying that see 45% of jobs will be automated. And again, they are given the type of workers that will be automated: male 47%, female 42%. And again, they're saying what will be the impact of this automation for undergraduates, for graduates, for medium education and low education. So they say that due to this automation, the lower education people will have a major impact. So the job losses will be more on the lower education sector in again in manufacturing sector. Again, next is the construction sector. So the research again was carried on to construction sector. So here they say that there will be around 39%, okay, shares jobs that could potentially be automated. So 39% of jobs by 2030 will be automated in construction sector. So again, they are given male female percentage. And again, if you see the low level education, the percentage of job loss is more. Again, some of the jobs are done by replaced by machine. Like if you say like carrying things, and nowadays in a lot of construction site is being done by cranes and other machines. So there is a lot of automation taking place in construction sector. So now we come to our main sector, the sector where we are. So that is the education sector. See, the good news is we have only 9%. See, compared to the job law, okay, the automation because of automation, 45% of jobs are getting taken away by AI. So here in construction, 39. Whereas see, in education, there is only 9% of jobs being potentially taken by automated systems or AI-based systems. So this conveys an important message that human factor is important for education. And again, if you see the education wise, the low education side, the automation is more, 31%. Like offices may be automated, like registrations and all can be done online. So even when nowadays we have classes also online, but still there is a need for having human factor. So here the good news is, I'm not saying this, say this is a UK based PwC estimate. You can go to these websites and check out these. So they say that the education sector will be having an impact of only 9%. And again, see, this is again a chart which talks about the various sector. So if you see this again, education is the least impacted in all these other sectors. See, transportation and all, there is around 50% jobs are at risk. Whereas in education, having given you this good news about AI, now the thing is how we are going to use the capabilities of machine in enhancing the education. So that is what we need to look at here. So see, humans are intelligent in many ways, and again, teachers are more referring in the beginning when we compared AI-based system with and critical thinking. So these are important factors which to some extent only it can be uh, mimicked by a AI-based system. See, there is some news or there are some researchers done. Uh, there is even a movie which has been created by a AI-based system. So all these are there, but imagine an AI-based artist who AI-based system does a art. Okay, that is there, but when you feel the human touch, okay, when you see that in that particular end product which has been given by an AI based system, there is no human touch. So human creativity, imagination and critical things are important. So this makes humans unique. So I was also thinking like when God created humans, he would have just created like a machine, a robot who just obeys to whatever God says. But God didn't do that. So God gave it human feeling, human nature. That is what even in Bible, if you see, God says that He gave us the freedom. That is, see, when in a AI-based system, the system works based on the rules. It works based on the conditions which has been programmed. It is not having the autonomy. It's not having the freedom to operate. Even though we say it has some decision-making things or not, but it's again, it is restricted to what it learned or what rules have been put into that. Whereas in a human, we have the freedom, the free will to think. So that is what God gave us. So that unique nature of human makes human being unique, where that differentiates him from the AI-based system. Even the first sin of which mankind did, as in Bible, the sin, it was done by the free will. So man has the freedom to operate, to do good or bad. So because of that freedom, that makes human unique. So we are different from the machine. The machine has the freedom of choice is limited. The free will is limited. So again, when we talk about the shortage of teachers, can be overcome by AI-based system. See, AI-based systems are um, scalable. Like you were talking about the different paths and all those things. So it can be scaled. So shortage of teachers and everything can be overcome by AI based system. And again, special children who are having special needs can get benefited by this AI based system, where the AI based system can track the child, can monitor the child more in a more elaborate way, in a more intensive way, so that the teacher can be supplementing that, and thereby the special children can be taken care. And AI can free up teachers' time in many attendance-based systems. Like, for example, I know that teachers lose a lot of time in a class by taking for taking attendance and all. So imagine you have a AI-based system in your classroom which can just automatically take the attendance by just seeing the taking the picture of the classroom with all the students. It identifies by the face. Okay, you have the AI-based facial recognition which will recognize the face. So now one student may be wearing a cap, but still maybe the AI-based system is not able to recognize. We can put the learning. The teacher can tell, oh, this boy today put a cap and came. He is Ravi Chandran. We can tell. So that makes AI system more intelligent. So next time when Ravi Chandran comes with the cap, the AI system will not ask the teacher whether this is Ravi Chandran or not. AI system already has learned that this student is Ravi Chandran, and it will mark attendance. So teachers can focus on their main job, that is teaching. That requires human intelligence. See, and again, AI-based systems can assist learning. See, smart content, like I was explaining to you about the various paths. So each student can get a different content. So smart content based on their level of learning. Intelligent tutoring system. Feedbacks can be given and progress can be monitored, and intelligent performance predicting software. So all these things can be done by incorporating AI, or AI can be used by the teacher to assist in the learning process. So to conclude, what I can say is a quote by Brett A. Becker, which says, combining the best of human and machine for the benefit of learner is a true goal of artificial intelligence in education. Again, I repeat, see, combining the best of human and machine for the benefit of learner is the true goal of artificial intelligence in education. So we as teachers, we have the unique capacity, we have unique skills, we have the unique human nature. We can give the human touch which the machine can't give. But again, see, AI-based system has some other things which are very good, which when automated can help us in a big way. We need to have an hybrid approach where both can be combined and that can be used for the benefit of the learners. So now it's a question and answer session. You can ask questions.
ठीक है बाबू जी के फोन आई ਜਾਂਦੇ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੱਟ ਤਾਂ
Yes, any questions you can.
Dear participants, if you have any clarification, directly ask the question to the resource person. Bharati sir? Bharati sir?
Sir?
Sir, please
Sir.
propose the vote of the
Sir, for
sir?
participant 3 feedback link in chat box.
Dear participants, there is a 3 feedback link in the chat, sir. Kindly
E-learning and this can be applied. Okay, so when you talk about e-learning, which currently we are having this e-learning methods which has been followed due to this lockdown. So e-learning and AI are connected to each other. So the thing is, AI can act as a virtual tutor for a student, and the AI-based system can answer questions. Say, again, you would have seen and say have where they have automated call center where you just type in some chat questions and there is an robot like thing, okay, which will answer. So this also can be applied to students where if they have some basic questions like the definition, something they didn't understand, the AI-based system can answer them. But again, there will be situations where AI-based system can't answer. So in that situation, the student can click, I need more explanation. So that question can be routed to a teacher and a human can explain. So it is again making the life easier where some basic questions are answered by the system, the AI-based system, whereas the questions which the AI-based system can't answer, which is again specific to a particular course or subject, the teacher can come in, can again explain. And again,
Good morning.
AI-based systems are used in big way nowadays for they are used for the virtual reality. So virtual reality where we have 3D based systems where they can do practical. Okay, so now we have a question: is there any company or organization that is providing tools and techniques and materials for AI based learning to implement in our school? So this is an important question. Okay, so say when we talk about AI, now we can say that in the AI is being applied in our daily life. Amazon is having AI-based application to learn what we are buying. Google is applying AI-based techniques to learn where we go, where we shopping, which shop you are going, and based on that, Google gives feedbacks and other suggestions. So there are companies, big companies, tech companies, they are applying AI-based techniques, but their purpose is different. See, Amazon is applying artificial intelligence for their business. And again, there are a lot of tools available in internet, which is again used to as a product. So now there are some free tools which are available, which can be applied, which can be used based on the particular area of specialization. So I suggest to go for some open source tools which can be used as a base, and then we need to build on that. So it is not a single process where you can just implement AI-based system. It is a holistic approach where, based on the learning style, you can also design your own course in a AI. One student, some other student. So programmer will sit with you and design the course, and it is not a simple task which you can do it. You need to. It's a long-term project if you want to do by yourself a AI-based system. Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, can we use it for dyslexic children?
About, using this for
Dyslexic children.
Dyslexic children, yeah. The AI can be used, like I showed you the Seeing AI, which is a Microsoft app which can be used by anybody. So big software companies are providing certain apps and programs which can be used freely without any other objective, like without promoting a product or something. So such kind of things can be used, and this can aid students. You can track the students' progress, and that can be used. So today even there is baby monitoring AI. Okay, see, baby monitoring AI. The AI device has to be kept near the baby, a newborn baby, and the baby's sound, the baby's action, what the baby does, everything is monitored by the AI device, and that device will suggest. Okay, so but that is a product, so they are promoting a product. Okay, can somebody else questions can ask now, please.
Sir, is the government having idea to introduce AI for education?
Unmute your mic and ask.
Sir,
Right till the end, or in a particular aspect. You can identify that particular student. எனக்கு கேட்க மாட்டேங்குது.
That because there's headphone or something. Yes. Hello.
hello, sir.
Yes.
I have asked a question whether the government has any idea to introduce AI in school education.
Yeah, yes, as you can, of course, introduce in school education. So it has to be, basically, it has to be from a particular topic. You can have a questionnaire on that, and you can find out what level they are, and then you have to create additional material for each tracks, you know. So if you want to do that, you can you need to create a system where you identify that, for example, you have a topic, and now after that particular topic has been explained to the student, you want to see what they learned. So now traditional method is you make a exam, and then you find out their level, and then you do certain extra classes for a group of students. Now you want to automate this. So to automate this, now after giving the lesson, you need to prepare a questionnaire which the students will attempt, and based on the score, there must be a program, AI-based program, which will automatically give different learning materials to different students' level. If a student is 100%, he goes to the next level. Otherwise, for other students, you'll be giving certain extra topics. So it has to be programmed.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, other questions?
Sir, Ram Rajesh,
What is
sir? Sir?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Rajesh, sir?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, sir? Shall we continue?
Yeah, okay, okay.
Okay. Now I request Professor Bharati to propose a vote of thanks. Bharati?
okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor Ravichandran, sir. If I my pleasure to thank all
Thank you,
the
Professor.
participants and resource person who. Okay, sir. In the I would send my deep hearted thanks lecturer who delivered the wonderful talk on role of artificial intelligence in education. It's my privilege to thank all the professors of Government College of Education, Pudukkottai. Next, I would like to thank all the participants who take the part in this webinar and make the programs a very successful one. Once again, I thank one and all here. Thank you, participants and Professor Dr. Ravichandran sir, then Rajesh sir. Thank you, sir. Participants, feedback link in 4 links in chat box. For day in 400 certificate, you get fill the feedback link. We get in certificate your email ID.
Sir,
Welcome, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
Dr.
Thanks, sir.
Ravichandran sir.
Sir, Rajesh, sir. Rajesh?
Yes.
Yes. I'm very grateful for you, sir, because you spend a lot of time for this, for our college benefit, sir. Thank you for your kind cooperation, sir.
Okay, so it was my pleasure to be here, and thank you, Professor Ravichandran, for inviting me. And I will be sharing the presentation to you, and you can go through that. And best of luck and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ananta.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bharati, sir. Shall we wait for another 2 minutes? Okay.
நீங்க
Sir?